what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video game review. And for this review, we're going to be taking a look at excuse me, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch, also available on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC and Steam. Excuse me. But I'll be focusing on the Nintendo Switch version. Plus, I'll also give my thoughts on the Lego Movie 2 that I saw with my nephew, and my thoughts on the Daemon X Machina demo that was released that I just tried out as well. And if you're interested in some gameplay footage of me playing Tales of Vesperia, if I'm saying the name correctly, I'll have a link in the description though. Tales is a sort of a series I started to slowly get into over the years. I remember playing the first one, the first one, at least for me, was the one back when it was released on the GameCube back in 2004. I forgot its name and all that stuff, but at the time though, I wasn't exactly great at it. Then again, I wasn't really exactly great at like JRPGs and all that stuff. But over the years, I kind of got a little bit better at those games, and it wasn't until 2017's release of Tales of Vesperia, if I'm saying the name correctly. If not, I apologize. It's when I started to really get hooked on to the series though, and I started sort of become like a fan of it ever since then though. That was sort of a fun game, and I started to begin to understand the mechanics and so forth and so on. So it was kind of interesting to hear that they were remaking what supposedly was a game that was originally released as an exclusive on the Xbox 360, then later ported to the PS3, but only in Japan, that they were bringing them over here when they showed it off at E3, not only to the Xbox One, but to the PS4, PC, and the Nintendo Switch. And being a Nintendo fan as I am, I decided to go with the Switch version though. And I honestly have to say, I am actually enjoying the game though. It may not be like give like Final Fantasy a run for its money or anything like that, but I definitely see the appeals, and it is definitely a fun game indeed. So why don't we get started with the pros and cons, and we'll start off first with the pros. And the first one has to do with the combat though. Basically, the best way I could sum up the combat is that it's kind of to me, the way I see it, it's kind of like a mixture between a traditional RPG and an action RPG. You do move around the map and all that stuff, looking, finding like little secrets to hidden treasures and so forth. And then whenever you touch an enemy though, the screen you go into like a battle area as well. But unlike a traditional, say like a turn-based RPG, you basically are able to move your character around, and you can basically attack or use like special moves and so forth. So the combat is, to me, comes off as a traditional RPG and an action RPG. One way to sum it up would be last year's release of Shining Resources Reframed, which kind of took a similar approach to what the Tales series did as well. So combat wise though, I definitely enjoy it though. It's definitely like my type of RPG combat. The next thing I do want to talk about is the graphics. And I will say, even though this is a game that was originally released back on the Xbox 360 as an exclusive though, the visuals definitely look nice. Characters looking like it still has that anime look to it and so forth, but the visuals look good even for a game on a Nintendo Switch. Granted, it's not going to look anywhere near the same level as say like the PS4 or the Xbox One or the PC or anything like that, but the Switch version still holds up very well. One other thing I do want to talk about in terms of the graphics though, aside with the graphics, is that for the Switch version, in terms of combat though, when you're in battle mode, it runs at 60 frames per second, while outside of battle mode, the game runs at 30 frames per second. While it's not true 60 frames per second as say like the other versions are, I don't feel like that overall hurts the game or anything like that. And last but not least, I do want to say is about the story, and I do kind of find the story interesting as it all evolves around, say, the whole Blasia and basically a knight who even was willing to side and defend, like those in the lower level of class and so forth, to basically you know, find out the secret of this world and so on. So I haven't beaten the game or anything like that, but based on what I've seen with the story so far, it's very interesting, and the characters are interesting as well. So in terms of story, though, I found it to be interesting and enjoyable. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2 of the cons, and also I'll get to my thoughts on the Lego Movie 2, and my thoughts on the Daemon X Machina demo that was released for the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our my 2 cent video, and so now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And for the cons, there were really only 2 that I could come up with for Tales of Vesperia, though. The first one I do want to talk about is the story. Now, I mentioned in the pros that I thought the story was interesting, and it was, though, but there are times when it kind of gets, maybe, in my opinion, a little bit too cheesy, though. I mean, compared to the last Tales games that I played, the one on the PS4, I think Tales of Vesperia or something. Again, I apologize if I'm saying the name incorrectly, which was probably the first Tales game that I'm aware of that received an M rated on that one. I just find the story in that one a bit more interesting than the story in Tales of Vesperia, though. Maybe some of it has to do with the theme or something like that, but as far as story goes, story's still interesting in Tales of Vesperia, but I think there are times when it gets maybe a little too cheesy, at least from my point of view, though. And last and not least, the other thing that has to do with the camera. Now, for the most part, the camera isn't a huge issues, and it didn't make any time when I was in battle make the game unplayable. But there are times where I do wish there were options where you can like rotate the camera to be exactly behind the character. Most of the time, majority of the time, the camera's going to be on the side, and that can be a little difficult at times, especially if you're trying to maneuver your character or trying to make a move up to a certain enemy and so forth. Again, doesn't make the game unplayable or do anything like that. It's just that there are times when the camera can be an issue when you're in combat and all that stuff. And I wish there were more options to sort of like rotate the camera behind the person. I mean, you could pan the camera back and so forth, so you can do that, but I would have liked to see more options, though. Overall, I am having fun with Tales of Vesperia, though. It is a fun RPG, and like I said earlier, the Tales series is a series I'm starting to get into more and more, and I'm definitely enjoying this one, even though I feel the last Tales, the one that was for the PS4, even though I enjoyed that one a little bit more, especially in the story area, though. But nevertheless, it is still a fun game, and if you're a Tales fan or anything like that, it's worth picking up, especially if you're looking for a Tales game for the Nintendo Switch. Here's to hoping, though, that we continue to see more entries of the Tales series from Bandai Namco. And as a Switch owner, here's to hoping we see more of the Tales series come to Nintendo Switch, whether it's a brand new entry or a remake of classic entries from like past systems, from like the GameCube to the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, to the Wii era. I mean, I would love to see the ones that were released on the PS4 come to the Nintendo Switch as well. So here's to hoping we see more entries into the Tales series come to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, before I end this video, I do want to talk about 2 things. And the first one we'll talk about is, of course, Lego Movie 2, the second part, exactly. Now, I'll be honest with you, I never saw the first Lego Movie, though, unfortunately, and I heard some pretty good things about that one, so it is really a bit of a disappointment, because I probably should take a look at this one. But as far as this one goes, I did enjoy it, though. I mean, I went with the theater with my nephew, and he saw it as well, and he enjoyed it too, and I thought it was charming, though. The story was a little bit silly at times, and there were parts where I will say the visuals look really nice, especially with the whole Lego pieces. Especially sometimes there were parts that basically when they're flying the spaceship, they have like those little strings, you know, with the ships, and they go like this and so forth. So it was really a neat film. It's the same way I had with the Lego Batman movie when I saw that one. And if you like the Lego Batman movie, you'll probably like Lego's movie too. And it was very nice to. It was just a fun, enjoyable experience, and I probably should take a look at the first Lego movies. First Lego movie one that I didn't get a chance to see. It's one of those movies where I feel like, yeah, I mean, even though it's a kids movie, it's one of those where you as an adult could sit down and probably enjoy it as well as some of the humor. Some of it could appeal to adults too. So overall, it was a fun movie. Enjoyed Lego movies too. I wish I could see the first Lego movie and then compare it to this one though. So I have to take a look at that one as well. And last but not least, I do want to talk about my thoughts about Daemon Ex Machina. Now, this game was revealed last year at E3, and recently during the Nintendo Direct, I will say it was a very impressive Nintendo Direct. They released a demo for the Nintendo Switch to try out. And while it took me a little while to get used to the controls and so forth, I got the idea what they were trying to do. The controls wise, I mean, you basically push like ZR to activate your right hand weapon, or ZL to activate your left hand weapon, based on the mech that I had. One button you push basically, I think the L to fire off the missile. I felt like maybe there was a bit of a delay or something like that. I may have to go back and take a look. And I will say the combat of the game is fun, even though it was maybe a little bit slow in some areas, but it didn't ruin my enjoyment or anything like that. Now, it is a demo, so we'll have to wait and see when the final version comes out, or maybe they'll release a demo down the road. But I will say the demo was fun. I like what I'm seeing right now. I do like the visuals to the game, and it's definitely excuse me. It's definitely one of the games I'm looking forward to trying out in 2019. So overall, my takeaway is that it was a good demo, but I would like to see some improvements made to the game. Maybe fix some of the frame rate, maybe add some custom controls. That would be great, to be exact. So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll see more down the road. But for right now, I like what I'm seeing so far. Okay, this concludes my video review of Tales of Vesperia for the Nintendo Switch. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the Tales of Vesperia game? Is it a game that you'd be willing to pick up for the Nintendo Switch? Is it a game that you would rather pick up the other versions, whether it's PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Steam? Is it a game you'll just pass on? Do you enjoy the gameplay? Do you enjoy the story? Do you think the graphics look nice in the game? Did you see the Lego Movie 2? Did you enjoy the Lego Movie 2? Did you hate the Lego Movie 2? And what about the Daemon Ex Machina demo? Have you downloaded the demo yet for the Nintendo Switch? Have you tried it? Are there things you like? Are there things you hate about that demo? Are you hoping they'll make some improvements when the final version gets released, hopefully this year? Do you like what I said in this video? Do you not like what I said in this video? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You can do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good evening then. Bye!